In the silence of our hearts, let us pray. Good, gracious, and loving God, the infinite horizon and immeasurable depths of our lives, as we gather to mark this moment of accomplishment and transition, we lift up to you all who will graduate this day. Amidst their excitement, may they pause to lean back into the experiences through which you have delivered them to this remarkable threshold. May they remember the gift of their original desire to heal and all who nurtured it with great care and compassion. May they remember the generous guidance of their mentors, those who reached out to them and who modeled your healing presence. May they remember their graced encounters with patients, with staff, with fellow learners. May they remember. May they remember. Good and loving God, for the experiences that have shaped those who graduate this day, we give you thanks. And we ask that you send down your most Holy Spirit upon them all. Bless them as they go forth into the future that now beckons. Bless them to be balanced instruments in your gracious and healing presence. Bless them to be inspiring leaders whose lives make present the Ignatian Magis, the more universal good. Bless them to be creative spirits who can imagine a world where your justice and light more fully reign. Bless them. Bless them. We make this prayer in your most holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Father DeMarco. Will everyone please be seated? It is now my pleasure to present Dr. Sam Marzo, Dean of the Stritch School of Medicine.
Good afternoon, Stritch class of 2024. The provost has asked me to give some brief remarks. So now, 7 pieces of advice for your residency and beyond in less than 1 minute. Commencement marks a beginning. Learning the art and science of medicine is a lifelong pursuit. While a career in medicine is your life's calling, don't put the rest of your life on hold in the process. Take care of yourself, work out, eat well, get sleep when you can. Keep some form of spirituality in your life. Think for yourself. Know when to lead or when to follow. Ask good questions. Be humble. You will care for people, someone's mom, someone's dad, brother, sister. They are not diseases. Get to know your patients. Sit down and take time to talk with them. Ask about their families. Listen. Be a great colleague. You will learn that nurses and other care members in the clinic, operating room, emergency room, and ICU often know more than you. They can make your life heaven or hell. Treat them well. Finally, learn from your failures and celebrate your accomplishments. You began medical school during a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic, and look where you are today. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dean Marzo. I am now pleased to invite Francis Ahule, President of the Class of 2024, to the podium to provide remarks on behalf of the graduates of the Stritch School of Medicine.
Good afternoon, President Reed, Provost Callahan, Dean Marzo, and welcome friends and family to the commencement ceremony for the class of 2024. We are honored to celebrate the medical student to physician transition. Though I'm humbled to give this address as class president, I admit I could not decide what message I wanted to leave you all with. There are just too many events and experiences that define our class, the most memorable being the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, despite us starting medical school in such difficult circumstances, our class may very well be one of the most resilient, intelligent, talented, driven, effervescent, bold, audacious, and incomparable group of students to ever walk across this stage. Now, my original intent was to reminisce on our experiences, but then I inadvertently became captivated by a quote that was written on a concrete wall. The quote simply said, "Your words matter." Your words matter is something that everyone, especially physicians, should always bear in mind. To give some context, I'll share a personal example. At the young age of 12, my dream was to become a doctor. I went to a youth camp, and the leader asked us to state our career aspirations. And when I said my dream was to become a doctor, I was the only person in the group to be told that I was dreaming too big. So for years, I clung onto any other field except medicine. But with my family's love and support, I eventually found my way back. The point of this anecdote was to underline the fact that I listened to that leader. Imagine how many potentially revolutionary physicians have already been eliminated from the process just because of discouraging words. So I repeat, your words will matter. And as future physicians, your words will matter tremendously. You will deliver great news to your patients and their families, but you may also deliver devastating and life-changing news to those unexpecting. Your friends and family will listen to your recommendations because you will unofficially become their doctor as well. Your colleagues will trust your judgment as consultants, and they will admit patients to your care. The world will look to you for answers in times of crises, such as a pandemic. Community members, neighbors, the younger generations will highly regard your thoughts, opinions, and advice. Your words will carry a much heavier weight than you can ever imagine. So I ask that you take the time to appreciate the gravity, the privilege, and the beauty of what it means to become a physician. When we walk out of this ceremony today, we're entering the world again with a new perspective and a new responsibility. So I hope that we may use our words to heal, to console, to encourage, to advocate, to foster change, and to make the world a better place for mankind. The Stritch School of Medicine community and I look forward to witnessing the remarkable and profound accolades that I know our class will achieve. So congratulations again, class of 2024. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Frances. It is now my pleasure to welcome back Dean Marzo, who will introduce our commencement speaker.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to welcome you and introduce Stritch's commencement keynote speaker, Dr. Kamran Hamid, Associate Professor in Orthopedic Surgery and Rehabilitation at Stritch, where he focuses on sports injuries of the foot and ankle in particular. As Chief Medical Officer at Gottlieb Memorial Hospital, he is an important member of our academic medical enterprise. While your programs contain a detailed biography, I would like to note a couple of highlights and then share an anecdote about Dr. Hamid's approach to teaching. From 2016 to 2020, Dr. Hamid was the team physician for the Chicago Bulls and the Chicago White Sox. Initially, Dr. Hamid matched into pediatrics, but decided it was not for him and switched to orthopedics. Among the reasons he moved to orthopedics was the attending physician he worked with who taught him the concept of focused praise. In other words, when one specifically acknowledges a particular skill that a person has demonstrated, Rather than saying good job, it has more meaning and oftentimes is often more thoughtful. Thoughtfulness and good humor from this once stand-up comedian is evident in the classroom. To close, I'll share an anecdote from one of his students. Dr. Hammond approaches teaching in a fun and engaging way. Before he gave a lecture to orthopedic surgery residents and students on talar fractures and replacements, he handed each one of us a tube of Play-Doh and told us to make our best anatomic models of the talus and calcaneus. That must have been interesting. Because orthopedics is not a required rotation. So you could hear the laughter and contentment exuding from the room as everyone competed to make their best models. Dr. Hammond carefully explains a concept, grabs the audience's attention, and makes lectures relatable and digestible through jokes and personal stories. His public speaking skills and literary aptitude make him a great speaker and an educator. And I would add his technical and interpersonal skills, humility, and care for his patients help make Dr. Hammond a valued member of the Stritch and Loyola Medicine communities. Dr. Hammond.
Yeah, we did it. Well, mostly you did it, but I just got really excited and I got left out. You know, I like your hats too. Those are really nice. Great. So soak this in, guys. You deserve it. Because 6 months from now, when you're thinking of quitting internship and fleeing the country, you should hearken back to this moment and remember how happy you were. The happiest people here are your parents. Yeah. They're happy because, yes, they're proud of you, and also because you're 26 and finally have a job. So, and now you're off their insurance. I want to thank President Reed, Provost Callahan, Dean Marzo, esteemed faculty and administrators, friends, family, loved ones, and of course, the loudest, proudest Loyola Stritch class of 2024. Thank you for letting me celebrate with you on your big day. When I was asked to be your commencement speaker 4 months ago, I wanted to prepare for this like a medical student. So as I began writing my speech last night at 11 p.m., after chugging a White Monster energy drink, I sought inspiration and it came to me. I said, aha, what would your classmate Brian Garcia do? Where is Brian Garcia? Oh, there he is, yeah. Hanging with the G's, no surprise there, huh? Okay. I've never met Brian Garcia before, but I've heard the legend of him. So legend has it that Brian Garcia was able to do an ear exam on the PCM mannequins despite, and this is true, the mannequins not having ears to examine. It is said that Brian Garcia is so likable that even the obstetrics and gynecology residents are nice to him. You guys aren't recording this, right? Okay. Lastly, and most impressively, Brian Garcia is so laser focused that he was able to stay awake for most of the molecular, cellular biology, and genetics course. I came here today because I wanted to share my journey with you in hopes that it may help you with your journey. But to understand who I am, you first have to understand where I came from and who my parents are. My father was born in a village, rural India, just outside of a jungle, no running water or electricity. Armed with grit and determination, he became the first person from his village to go to college. He then set his sights on a PhD in engineering in the United States. My father came to this country without speaking the language, without knowing anyone, and with barely $1 to his name, and he flourished. Now, I have had to overcome similar struggles in my life. For example, last week at the Panera Bread in the hospital, they ran out of broccoli and cheddar soup, and I was forced to substitute a flatbread in my pick two. Different times, but similar struggles. I truly am my father's son, yeah. But if my father is a genius of engineering, it is my mother who is a virtuoso of people. If you ever go to a party and you don't know where she is, just listen to the people that are laughing, and she's the one entertaining them. She's also a skilled negotiator. One time when I was a young attending, my apartment tried to raise my rent by $250. And so I did what any grown man who earns six figures would do. I called my mommy. And she said, "Don't worry, beta, I will take care of it." So, how like we Indians, we turn our heads side to side, even when we mean, it's very confusing. So it's big mixed signals. And she says, "Don't worry." And also, she doesn't talk like that. She's an English teacher. And she says, "Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it." Yeah. Not only did my apartment not raise my rent by $250, she somehow got them to lower the rent by $200. God help me and my poor little sister, because we never stood a chance against this woman. Our parents had us focus on science and mathematics. They steered us clear of drugs, alcohol, and the most dangerous distraction, art. But when I went to college, I had to take an art class, so I took one in creative process with Professor Rodney Hill. Now, Professor Hill rewarded risk-taking, and he despised those who played it safe. Actually, one of my classmates got a C on an assignment because Dr. Hill said he was not offended by the students' jokes. So I let him redo it, and I can't repeat what the kid said, but he definitely was offended the second time around. Dr. Hill taught me to break out of my shell and try things like public speaking and stand-up comedy. He taught me that fortune favors the bold. Then I began my medical school training, and I lost a little bit of my Rodney Hill. Play was replaced with work, and we were chastised for not having the right answer, the book answer, because that's the one that was correct. I then pushed on to residency, and residency was tough. The highs were very high, but the lows were very low. One moment, you were at the beautiful, blissful beginning of life, and the next moment, you were out-muscled by the icy grip of death. And amongst the hills and valleys and mundane plains in between, it sometimes becomes easy to forget just how special you are, that you are not an imposter, that you belong here, and that sometimes it's more important to be logical than it is to be correct. My attending would say that the best part of residency is that it ends. But after it ends, there's the business of medicine. There are the pressures of seeing patients, of generating revenue, or RVUs, which is like healthcare monopoly money, and of protecting your professional reputation. At my first job, I made a rap video, and I was told by my bosses not to release it, that it was bad for business, and that rap music is unbecoming of an attending surgeon. I then took my next job here at Loyola, and my boss sat me down. He said, "We need to talk about your rap music." He said, "I've got some really good ideas for your next video." That's my guy, Alex Habibi. All right. Now is when the graduation speaker is supposed to give you this grand reveal. But I am a simple bone doctor, and I have a simple message, which is you should be bold. Be bold in everything that you do. Healthcare is under attack. Our patients are under attack, and it's up to us to protect them. Insurance companies dictate how we treat the sick. They pay us less and less to do more and more. They gaslight us into thinking it's wrong to be compensated for doctoring. Some third parties, like staffing agencies and private equity firms, are bankrupting our healthcare system. People that don't take care of patients are taking from our patients. The tail is wagging the dog. And now, more than ever, we need bright people like you to stand tall, look injustice in the eye, whatever it is, and say no more. The world can no longer afford to take its most exceptional minds and turn us into submissive, docile doctors. What the world needs is revolutionaries. Our greatest enemy is our own complacency. So as you embark on your next chapter, I want you to remember this. You are not an H&P machine, you're not a discharge summary monkey, and your self-worth is not tied to RVUs or collections or any of the false shackles placed upon us. What What you are is special. You are exceptional. You are the people's champions, and don't forget that. You are important. You are somebody. Your opinion is valuable, and never let anyone ever tell you otherwise. You are the future. You are the voice for those who have none. You will fight for what is right, not just in medicine, but in everything. You are the revolution, my brothers and sisters, an unstoppable force of nature, and I know that you will make me proud when you go out there and shake up the world, Loyola Stritch class of 2024. You are a doctor. Congratulations and welcome to the club, especially Brian Garcia. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hammond. The honorary degree will now be presented. On behalf of the Stritch School of Medicine, Dean Marzo will introduce Dr. Fabio Liavano and read the citation. President Mark Reed will confer the degree.
It is my distinct honor to share with you some brief career highlights of our honorary degree recipient, Dr. Fabio Liavano, a physician and epidemiologist. He has had an extraordinary career in academia and industry, highlighted by several awards, many published articles, and books, outstanding research, and as importantly for Stritch, a dedication to mentoring and training the next generation. Dr. Liavano is recognized globally for his contributions to pharmacovigilance, or drug safety, immunology, and epidemiology. At AbbVie, Dr. Liavano leads the science safety team of data scientists, physicians, and epidemiologists who focus on benefit-risk analysis of medications and studying diseases within populations. Dr. Liavano leverages his background in medicine and public health, including as a leader at the World Health Organization, where he was embedded during the Bosnian War and was responsible for rebuilding healthcare services there. At the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, he focused on measles control and elimination worldwide. After more than a 10-year career in public health, Dr. Liavano brought his knowledge and expertise to the pharmaceutical industry. Said Dr. Liavano, "The science we do here at AbbVie is the best way to protect patients and enhance healthcare globally." In 2017, Dr. Liavano began working with several faculty in what is now Stritch's Molecular Pharmacology and Neuroscience Department. By the next year, he was officially affiliated with us. His visionary approach led to the creation of a groundbreaking pharmacovigilance textbook, which led to the development of a graduate course and certificate program at Stritch. As a director and lecturer, he shares his knowledge and inspires the next generation of safety scientists. Beyond the classroom, Dr. Liavano's interaction with Loyola faculty extends into research, where he co-authored significant research papers addressing a vital aspect of the COVID-19 epidemic and including equitable medical approaches. Dr. Liavano, your many contributions have saved lives, advanced knowledge, and inspired future leaders. Thank you. President Reed, in recognition of Dr. Liavano's contributions to scholarship around equitable medical approaches, service to underserved populations, patient safety, and his dedication to eliminating preventable diseases, I recommend the degree Doctor of Philosophy honoris causa be conferred upon Dr. Fabio Liavano.
Upon the recommendation of the Dean of the Stritch School of Medicine and its faculty, and by the authority granted to Loyola University Chicago by the state of Illinois and vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I am very pleased to confer upon you the Doctor of Philosophy, honoris causa. Congratulations.
I humbly accept this honorary degree. This is extraordinary for my life. I want to thank President Reed, Provost Callahan, and Dean Marceau, and my family who are always there for me. Thank you.
The candidates for the Doctor of Medicine degree will now be presented. Your attention is directed to those candidates who are receiving their degrees cum laude with honor, magna cum laude with great honor, and summa cum laude with highest honor. Dean Sam Marzo of the Stritch School of Medicine will make the recommendations to the President, who in turn will confer the degrees. I would like to invite the President to join Dean Marzo.
Will the candidates for Doctor of Medicine degree please rise? President Reed, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the degree Doctor of Medicine. The candidates have fulfilled all the requirements for their degrees, and I recommend the degrees be conferred upon them.
By the authority granted to Loyola University Chicago by the state of Illinois and delegated to me by the Board of Trustees, I am pleased to confer the Doctor of Medicine degree upon all those recommended and presented by the Dean and faculty of the Stritch School of Medicine. Congratulations.
The candidates for the degree Doctor of Medicine will now come forward to be recognized by name as directed by the marshals. Graduates who have not yet been taken out of their rows may be seated again. Dr. Monica Edwards and Dr. James Lau, who were honored earlier this spring by the class of 2023 as their outstanding professors, have been accorded the privilege of bestowing the doctoral hoods on our graduates. Daryl Neighbors, Assistant Dean for Admissions and Recruitment, will be reading the names of the graduates. Family and friends, please remain in your seats and hold your applause until all candidates have been recognized so that each candidate's name may be heard by their family and loved ones. Guests are not permitted on the arena floor or near the stage. Professional photographers are taking photos of the graduates, and these photos will be available to you in the coming days. Thank you for your cooperation.
Receiving her degree summa cum laude, Dr. Charlotte Marie Adama. Dr. Francis Neoma Akwale. Dr. Sarah Alatar. Dr. Louise Valentine Amat. Dr. Joshua Edward Anderson. Dr. Anders Winquist Bailey. Dr. Matthew Robert Ellsworth Baker. Dr. Shruti Basareddy. Dr. Connor Jacob Bateman. Dr. Tatiana Ivanov Beirut. Dr. Iovana Josefina Bonfonte Gonzalez. Dr. Michael Stephen Buffa. Dr. Daniel John Bujnowski. Dr. McKinney Madeline Bull. Dr. Adam Joseph Cardoni. Dr. Emily Julia Carnes. Receiving her degree, magna cum laude, Dr. Erin Joan Carollo. Dr. Eric John Castanelli. Dr. William Chiwa Chan. Dr. Michael Israel Thomas Channon. Receiving her degree, summa cum laude, Dr. Rupita Shaduri. Dr. Jesse Chen. Dr. Sherry Jiaowing Chen. Dr. Sebastian Shibu Shirayo. Dr. Jerry Ann Natalie Collymore. Dr. Collymore was enrolled in Loyola's MD MPH dual degree program and was also awarded a master's in public health. Dr. Elijah Ann Connaughty. Dr. Monica S. Contractor. Receiving his degree cum laude, Dr. Wyatt Mitchell Corbin. Dr. Avery Elizabeth Cowan. Receiving his degree cum laude, Dr. William Henry Kusma. Dr. Aaron Dang. Dr. Sarah Dorothy Louise Deniger. Receiving her degree cum laude, Dr. Samantha Claire Diulis. Dr. Vishal Vasant Dabare. Dr. Amanda Miyuki Doherty. Dr. Victoria Lee Dronzek. Dr. Gabriel David Dungan. Dr. Carlo Cameron Ikani. Receiving his degree, cum laude, Dr. Johnny Shafiq El-Kadi. Dr. Sarah May Fahi. Dr. Anjali Aaron Ferris. Receiving her degree cum laude, Dr. Emily M. Flammersfeld. Dr. Jonah Albert Frew. Dr. Brian Garcia Valdez. Dr. Gabriela Fuentes. Dr. Fuentes was enrolled in Loyola's MD MPH dual degree program and was also awarded a master's in public health. Dr. Olivia Elise Geisler. Receiving her degree cum laude, Dr. Serene Hadaya. Dr. Emily Sarah Hagan. Dr. Sarah Danielle Hyder. Dr. Veena Ramanchandra Hamill. Dr. Carla Hanna. Dr. Lubna Sayada Hashim. Dr. Kevin Huai. Dr. Akram Imam. Dr. Minhaj Ahmed Jabir. Receiving his degree cum laude, Dr. Sarang Janakiraman. Dr. Jiu Bin Jang. Dr. Pranathi Karamanchi. Dr. Robert Francis Kelly. Dr. Husna Amreen Kalaluddin. Dr. Christine Trang Q. Receiving his degree magna cum laude, Dr. Matthew S. Kuzam. Dr. Sindhuja Maruthi Kilaru. Dr. Stephen Victor Kleck. Dr. Brian Patrick Kokta. Receiving his degree cum laude, Dr. Sebastian Collage. Dr. Abhishala Kumar. Dr. Angelica Joanna Kavak. Dr. Kavak was enrolled in Loyola's MD MPH dual degree program and will also be awarded a Master's in Public Health. Dr. Rachel Ka-Win Lam. Dr. Brandon Elliott. Dr. Jahan Lee. Receiving his degree cum laude, Dr. Jonathan Simon Lee. Dr. Promise Faith Lee. Dr. Yoonmin Lee. Receiving her degree summa cum laude, Dr. Mary Claire Lipa. Dr. Emily Ma. Dr. Emily Ma was enrolled in Loyola's MD PhD dual degree program and was also awarded a PhD. Dr. Dima Martini. Receiving her degree magna cum laude, Dr. Nicole Mastakoris. Receiving her degree cum laude, Dr. Maya Katie McCoy. Dr. Eliza Grace McDermott. Receiving her degree summa cum laude, Dr. Shannon Mary McDonald. Dr. Orr Eliza Meltzer. Receiving his degree cum laude, Dr. Val Joy Malloy. Dr. Catherine Teresa Mott. Dr. Brian Newton Muir. Dr. Ermelinda Ndoka. Dr. Brandon Hui Trang Nguyen. Dr. Mai Rachel Nguyen. Dr. Nguyen was enrolled in Loyola's MD PhD dual degree program and was also awarded a PhD. Dr. Shaya Nikfar. Receiving her degree cum laude, Dr. Monique Simone North. Receiving his degree summa cum laude, Dr. Amir O'Day. Receiving her degree magna cum laude, Dr. Hannah Rose O'Hagan. Receiving his degree magna cum laude, Dr. Yudai Okabe. Dr. Guy Constantine Olson. Dr. Chidoze Carl Agadinma Onuk. Dr. Anouk was enrolled in Loyola's MD MA and MD MBA dual degree programs and was also awarded a Master's in Bioethics and a Master's in Business Administration. Dr. Abina Singh Pabla. Dr. James Harrison Padley. Dr. Eli Munsell Polygonis. Receiving her degree cum laude, Dr. Chloe Colleen Pastori. Receiving her degree cum laude, Dr. Avani Parish Patel. Dr. Claire Yvette Pavazzi Krieger. Dr. Sakib Noor Paracha. Dr. Kaylin Rynell Pettis. Dr. Pettis was enrolled in Loyola's MD MPH dual degree program and was awarded a master's in public health. Dr. Alexandra Plazia Jairo. Receiving her degree, magna cum laude, Dr. Kaylee Ray Polkinghorn. Dr. Eliza Katayun Rafat. Dr. Farah Raymond. Receiving her degree summa cum laude, Dr. Christina Rao. Dr. Nefeli Giovanna Raptis. Dr. Derek Raymond Rink. Receiving her degree cum laude, Dr. Sienna Rote Shumway. Dr. Nicole Rock. Dr. Erin Marie Rodriguez. Receiving his degree summa cum laude, Dr. Dylan Harold Ross. Dr. Lauren Elizabeth Ross. Dr. Stephanie Ann Ryan. Dr. Malik Abdul Salah. Dr. John Christopher Salinas. Dr. Lakvir Kaur Sandhu. Dr. Nicholas Edward Sasso. Dr. Sagar Jagdish Shah. Receiving his degree summa cum laude, Dr. Owais Khalid Shakili. Dr. Emma Francis Sheedy. Dr. Monica Mariah Sheff. Dr. Hunji Shim. Dr. Samira Sarah Siddiqui. Dr. Divya Shiridan. Dr. Carrie Ann Steed. Dr. Kelly Diane Steele. Dr. Steele was enrolled in Loyola's MD MPH dual degree program and will also be awarded a Master's in Public Health. Receiving her degree cum laude, Dr. Emma Rose Stewart. Dr. Hera Kaisheng Tang. Dr. Jackson Paul Tate. Dr. Luke Kendrick Taylor. Dr. Tasha Ann Tombo. Dr. Raj Kumar Pankaj Topiwala. Dr. William Michael Tatura. Dr. Zachary Matthew Urim. Dr. Perry James Varaz. Dr. Chloe Nicole Verducci. Dr. Julia Lynn Versell. Dr. Mara Sullivan Walsh. Dr. Hannah Flora Wang. Dr. Matthew Brendan Ward. Receiving her degree magna cum laude, Dr. Adrian Elizabeth Wessel. Dr. Connie Shao. Dr. Sarah Sue Shu. Dr. Rachel Rai Yang. Dr. Bayan Yazdi. Dr. Sarah Moran Yi. Dr. Jesus Bernabe Zamora Pineda. Dr. Zamora Pineda was enrolled in Loyola's MD PhD dual degree program and was also awarded a PhD. Dr. Brittany Zelch.
Congratulations to the class of 2024 from the Stritch School of Medicine. Dean Marzo will now lead the graduating class in pledging the oath of Hippocrates, which is printed in your program on page 146 and displayed on the screens.
We now ask the graduates, the doctors of the class of 2024, as well as all physicians in the audience, to please stand if you are able and join as a group in taking the oath of Hippocrates. Please recite the oath along with me. As a member of the medical profession, I solemnly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of humanity. The health and well-being of my patient will be my first consideration. I will respect the autonomy and dignity of my patient I will maintain the utmost respect for human life. I will not permit considerations of age, disease, disability, creed, ethnic origin, gender, nationality, political affiliation, race, sexual orientation, social standing, or any other factor to intervene between my duty and my patient. I will respect the secrets that are confided in me even after the patient has died. I will practice the profession with conscience and dignity in accordance with good medical practice. I will foster the honor of noble traditions of the medical profession. I will give to my teachers, colleagues, and students the respect and gratitude that is their due. I will share my medical knowledge for the benefit of the patient and the advancement of health care. I will attend to my own health, well-being, and abilities in order to provide care of the highest standard. I will not use my medical knowledge to violate human rights and civil liberties, even under threat. I make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor.
You may be seated. Please direct your attention to the screens as we stream a video message from the Loyola Alumni Association, followed by remarks from President Mark Reed.
Hello from Chicago. My name is Thad Wong from the class of 1996, and I am co-CEO of At Properties Christie's International Real Estate. I wish you all a big congratulations on one of the greatest accomplishments in your life, your graduation. After graduation, you are automatically welcomed as part of the Loyola University Chicago Alumni Association. It is now my pleasure to turn it over to my fellow alumnus, Dr. Steven Squento. Dr. Squento has had a remarkable career in the biotechnology company building and investing space. Speaking to you from Palm Beach, Florida, Dr. Steven Squento.
Thanks, Thad, and congratulations to all of our graduates. I graduated from Loyola with 2 degrees. I am currently with JP Morgan Asset Management. I serve as the Chief Investment Officer and the Managing Partner of our newly created Life Sciences Private Capital Group. Loyola's goal is to find a meaningful way for all of our alumni to remain engaged with the university. For example, you can stay connected through Loyola's mentorship program, Loyola Linked. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Glennis Green. Dr. Green serves as the co-founder and executive director of the Black Researchers Collective. She joins us from Chicago, Illinois.
Thank you, Dr. Squento, and congratulations, everyone. My name is Dr. Glennis Green, aka Dr. G, and I'm a 2009 graduate from the College of Arts and Sciences. A great way to stay in touch with Loyola is to keep in contact with professors and staff or attend one of the many alumni events. There will always be a way for you to stay connected. There are regional Rambler communities that you can be a part of, including in San Francisco, home of Reach Capital, co-founder and Loyola alum Jennifer Carolan. Jennifer taught in traditional public schools for 7 years, pursued an MA in education from Stanford, then went on to learn the craft of venture capital for almost a decade before co-founding Reach Capital.
Thank you so much, Dr. Green. I graduated from Loyola in 1997 from the College of Arts and Sciences. I'm a co-founder and partner at Reach Capital. Loyola was the first real mission-driven organization that I was a part of, and it had a major impact on my career, including the founding of Reach, a mission-driven venture fund focused on education. And it is so important to remain part of our community. So let's stay in touch. I urge you to take full advantage of these opportunities. Congratulations again on your graduation from Loyola University Chicago. You should be very proud. The best is yet to come. Go Ramblers!
On behalf of the faculty, the staff, and the entire Loyola University Chicago community, I offer you my heartfelt and deepest congratulations on this very, very special day. And welcome, of course, to the family and friends who are here in the arena, as well as all those who are watching online the live feed. Now, we're familiar, all of us are, with the expression, you save the best for last. So this happens to be the 12th and final commencement ceremony over the past 5 days. Now, I've been conducting a little bit of an experiment, and that experiment has been which of the ceremonies can actually make the most noise. Now, judging by the applause we heard at the end of the names being read, I think there's a decent chance that you can take the lead. But I have to tell you, the law school, which graduated this morning, is actually in the lead. So with that, challenge has been extended. Make as much noise as you can and you won. Now, as the son of a physician, I was never going to let the law school win. Please, please, don't tell them I said that, and when we post this ceremony, cut that out of the feed. But years from now, days from now, hours from now, new physicians and surgeons, few, if any of you, are going to remember the president of Loyola University Chicago, who spoke at your graduation. And that's as it should be, because you're going to vividly remember the remarkable faculty, clinical faculty, nurses, medical technicians, aides, staff, everyone that you encountered at the Stritch School of Medicine, Loyola University Chicago, Loyola University Health System, and all the other sites where you've done your training. You're going to benefit from their insight and care for the rest of your lives. Now, some of them are here today, but many of them are not. But even for those who are not, let's make sure that they hear your thanks and appreciation, doctors, by giving them a big round of applause. Now, we all enjoyed wonderful reflections and remarks from our student and commencement speakers and the wonderful tribute and accolades to our honorary degree recipient. So I know when to be brief. I just want to say to you, the newest graduates of the Stritch School of Medicine, that you have been privileged to be part of the Jesuit educational experience that is nearly 500 years old and more than 150 years old here at Loyola and in Chicago. You could have gone anywhere, some of you, for medical school. But you chose Stritch. That was a joke, actually, so that was good. I'd like to think that many of you and some of you certainly chose this institution because it is a Jesuit school. But even if you didn't, okay, now that you sit here as graduates and you look back on your 4 years, hopefully you understand a little bit about what that means. Because we have sought to educate and to form in you the next generation of medical and healthcare leaders who will be capable of shaping the future with competence, vision, justice, and charity, with a sense of calling, and certainly with concern for all of the human family. And you've received a great deal in your time here at Loyola and Stritch. But remember that your medical education, your medical degrees, and ultimately what you do going forward isn't just for you. It's for you to serve, to make a difference in your communities, your families, your profession, and ultimately the lives of others. So congratulations again, and go forward and embrace your futures boldly and confidently, but always remember that you are loved. The Loyola community loves you. Your parents, your family, your friends, they certainly love you, and God loves you. Thank you and congratulations. Now I invite everyone in the audience who is able to please rise and join me in a special final blessing upon our doctors. The words of the blessing will appear on the screens, and it's also located on the last page of the program book. And I invite you to extend a hand over our graduates and pray with me. May God bless you and sustain you on this your graduation day. May the Creator of this vast universe keep you safe as you go forth from this place that has nourished your mind and your soul. May the Almighty look down upon you and give you success in all your endeavors, courage in all your struggles and challenges, understanding in all that is new to you, wisdom to choose what is right and to do what is good, perseverance in all you undertake, serenity and peace in the knowledge that you are not alone, that you are loved. And may the Lord of all look kindly upon you this day and forever. Amen. Congratulations, doctors.
Will our graduates please rise? It is now my privilege to invite Avery Simmons, a student in the College of Arts and Sciences class of 2026, to lead the community in the Loyola University alma mater. Avery will be accompanied by the Loyola Wind Ensemble. Thank you to all of our talented musicians, and a special shout out to our wind ensemble who has been at all 12 ceremonies. Let's give them a round of applause. We ask that the audience please be seated until the recessional from the stage and the graduates have left the arena. Following the recessional, please join the graduates for a reception in the Damon Student Center.